Okay, here we have quite a wordy question, and you must read through all the words. But as you go through, you pick out that there's customers thinking the average content of the cartons has been reduced, and in fact that is the suspicion. Average content of the cartons of the milk is less than 568 millilitres, is what we have to test. So we need to set up null and alternative hypotheses. The null hypothesis is always that mu equals a value. The alternative one depends on the exact claim being tested. In this case, the test is that the average content, in other words the mean, is less than something. So that will enable you to fill in the alternative hypothesis, decide whether it's a one-tailed test or a two-tailed test. Next, you've got to look at what you're given, calculate what you can, and decide whether you're going to be using a z-test or a t-test. Does it matter? Well, it always matters a lot when you've got small samples. We've got 8 cartons here. For large samples, you can often get away with z when really it should be t. Okay, so is it z or t? Well, for z's, that's what you use when you're working with a sigma. T is what you use when you're working with an s. So you need to look at what you're given in the question. Are you being given the population, standard deviation or variance, or are you being given or calculating the sample standard deviation or variance? Decide whether it's z or t, work out your test statistic, draw your picture, and decide where your critical region is, where you'll be rejecting H0 because you have evidence against it, and where your other bit is where you'll be accepting H0. Work out where your work out your critical value, so look in your T or Z tables to find out the correct value for a 1% level of significance, and draw your verdict. Say whether or not you're rejecting or accepting H0, and then interpret in context. Now there isn't a clearly worded reference to a claim or suspicion, so I think you're going to have to use these wordings. You've got 2 choices, this one and this one, but you need to be saying either there is or is not evidence, either to support the claim or to reject the claim, depending on which way round things are with your null and alternative hypotheses. But you nick the wording out of the question so that you make a correctly precise statement of your conclusion.